Mr. Platt, would you do an attendance roll call,
Yes,
please?
ma'am. Mayor Roman, absent. President Percival.
Here.
Vice President Capabianco.
Here.
Mr. Bull.
Here.
Mr. Costa.
Here.
Mrs. Leonards.
Here.
Mrs. Haynes.
Here.
Mrs. Strobeck.
Here.
Chief McKeon.
Here.
Mr. Wells.
Here.
Mr. Tanya.
Here.
Mrs. Marcy. Di Lorenzo Ross.
Here.
Student council. Yes. There you go.
Thank you. It's nice to see Mrs. Haynes here this evening and
Yes.
feeling much better.
Great to see the Saints here.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to part from the regular order of business to do a swearing in of a part-time officer, Jeffrey Dugan. And Vice President Capabianco is going to do it this evening since our mayor is ill.
Yeah, I'm done. You can all come up. There goes, this a good spot here?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah. Nothing on the Bible or I state your name,
Jeffrey M. Dugan Sr.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the state of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Pennsylvania
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge the duties of Parkside Police
perform or discharge the duties of the Parkside Police
according to the law and the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
You got a beautiful family back there. Yeah, you are blessed with a great family there.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
You don't have to stay.
Officer Dugan, you may take your family and leave. I'm sure they don't want to sit through the rest of the business.
I was ready,
We're ready.
All right, everybody have a wonderful night.
Take care, John.
All right. I'll see you. Tell everybody I said
All
hi.
right. We'll move on to a motion to accept the August 2025 council meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? I let the record reflect that, if I can get it out, that I abstained. I was not in attendance.
Form?
And I do need a form.
I got you.
No, she has one.
Oh, she has one?
I don't see it, but
It's there, all right? It's in, all you gotta do is sign it. It's all filled out for you.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
We'll move on to the borough secretary. Do we have any correspondence this evening?
No, it's not.
Mayor's report, does, Chief, do you have the mayor's crime report?
I do, yes. For the month of August, crimes reported in August 7. We have 4 assaults, 1 theft, 1 public drunkenness, and 1 harassment. We have 173 calls for service. The most prevalent, we have 6 medical emergencies, 7 animal complaints, 25 building checks, 25 assist other agencies, 3 domestics, 6 suspicious conditions, and traffic and parking issues, 22. We had 3 accidents, 20 motor vehicle stops, 15 citations, 32 warnings, and 2 non-traffic citations. That is all for the report. I would like to mention there was a shooting today, and 3 police officers were killed today. So I would just like to pray for all the families affected by the gun violence today.
So very sad.
That's all, though.
Did Chief Lamey, I don't have any problems talking tonight. Chief Lamey leave a
Meeting
report?
adjourned.
Yeah, there you go.
You're funny. Miss a meeting and you can't talk.
Should I say it's an answered prayer? And do that. Marside Fire Company responded to 31 calls in the month of August. 3 building fires, 1 was a 4-alarm fire. 14 medical calls, 11 in the borough, 5 calls answered by VNSC, 2 by Brookhaven, 2 by Woodman, 1 by Aston, and 1 by Swarthmore. 3 hazardous conditions, 4 good intents calls, 4 false alarms, 3 special incidents. The company held a hazmat refresher class. The company has numerous members who just passed their state, the company has numerous members who just passed their state EMT class and will take national registry tests next month. The fire company is working on the ISO report and is leaving the borough section to be done. The current rating the borough holds is a 4, and a 1 is the best and 10 is the worst. We don't see the rating getting better since we no longer have an ambulance in the borough. It's not what is coming to the borough, it's what we have in the borough. Hopefully we can secure an ambulance to have a better rating. Please return to the fire company the forms once they are filled out. We have a meeting set up with the company doing the report. The fire company will continue to respond to all medical calls in the borough since the ambulance turnaround time is now longer since the closure of the hospital. Submitted by Chief Mulaney. I have the ISO forms here. Sarah, do you know, does the borough have to fill these out?
Parts of it, you'll see.
Yes.
All right, I'll take a look at it and I'll see that you get it. Okay, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody in the audience wish to address council for agenda items only? If it's on the agenda, if you wish to address council. Moving on to the president's report. I'd like to remind council that next Wednesday, 7 p.m. is our budget meeting for the first time. Also, as we all know, Edgemont Avenue sinkhole has been corrected, and thank you, Ms. Catania, for all your help. Thank you to the residents for their patience, for traffic coming up and down our streets, and for those traveling on Edgemont Avenue. Thank you so much. We finally finished that project. Lastly, I'd like to reiterate what Governor Shapiro said earlier this week, that this world has no place for violence when someone has a different opinion than we do. It's a sad time in which we are facing, and I truly hope we all keep the faith, whatever faith that may be. Thank you. Moving on to finance.
Thank you, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, well said. Brinker Simpson report to Parkside Borough, September 12th, meeting date September 17th, 2025. All bank accounts are reconciled through August 31st, 2025. We are including the bank reconciliations and statements for all reconciled funds for council's approval. We are also including in this report the monthly transaction reports for the firehouse, which happens to be on like page 3. It's well done. General fund for the month of August, $46,223.04 was deposited into TD Bank with expenses of $4,191.51 that were paid during this time. $38,762.28 of deposits were received into Sharon Bank's general fund account, and $177,524.49 of disbursements were made, including payroll and related expenses in the amount of $42,292.96. Our year-to-date interest income from all accounts totals $17,041.44. Below are the bank balances per bank statements on August 31st, 2025. General account Sharon Bank, $318,690.63. General account TD Bank, $353,934.68. General account Pliget, $696,467.94. Remaining accounts are accounted for, have been reconciled, apologies. And I will make a motion to accept the treasurer's report for the month of August.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All those
Abstain.
opposed?
I will abstain as well, just for the firehouse bills paid in August
Same.
Yep.
I will
and
see.
going forward for September.
And please send the form down to,
Yes, I have completed.
you know the
That's
routine. You know the routine.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bull?
Thank you. With that, I would, what's that?
Would you like to move on to open space?
Yeah, I guess I would. Sorry. Got caught up in the bill thing. Now that we're actually paying the bills, they're almost like our bills. You can abstain from them if you would like, but before the conflict of interest arose from a lump sum of money going to a separate entity and having to be individually accounted for. If we write a check for Verizon for the benefit of the firehouse, it's, you guys proceed how you choose to proceed, but it's not quite that threshold that it was before. But the whole effort was to make it easier for everyone in the long haul. Thank you for that, Madam President. Moving along to the open space report, I'll report general progress, but it would be nice to install new mulch in the areas where the fitness stations are. It's kind of gotten to a point where if you did take a header off of like a pull-up bar, it wouldn't have that, the cushion. We'll call it cushion. So there are ways that you can get the super sacks for a decent price. I know the labor I could absolutely get donated, but the super sacks of the rubber mulch, I don't have an exact total or an exact amount, but I think that would be something that if we're gonna have something nice, we should keep it nice. And I think it's been there for 5 or 6 years. Ryan's been good at putting in the regular bag mulch, but it might be time for the engineer as far as some of that. But I think it'll hold up longer and perhaps provide a little bit safer in the long haul.
Should
So
that be done in the spring or the fall?
yeah, there's no real time frame to
Okay.
it. We would spray the weeds and then put it down and it would just be done. Perhaps finding it at a time when, it's gonna be rubberized mulch, so it'll last a little bit long, well, actually a lot longer. And be perhaps a little bit safer.
Can we get a price on that?
Absolutely. This is my first bringing it to the board, but it's kind of like, we got our small wish list, but keeping the park safe is nice too. And with that, I'll report general progress.
Junior council report, Mr. Costigan?
Thank you, Madam President. The application is open on the website for junior council. So if I looked before I came to the meeting, we have 5 applicants so far. So if anybody is interested, any high school student in the borough is free to apply, wants to support the efforts of the council. If you're interested in a program or a project that you have, feel free to apply. The application is on the website. And there's a flyer posted on Facebook as well.
That's good news.
So the deadline for that is going to be next Wednesday, the 24th, and the committee will interview the candidates, and hopefully we'll have them sworn in the October meeting.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Platt, did the mayor leave a report?
For recreation,
Yes. Okay.
I want to start by thanking our volunteers who do a tremendous job of putting our events together. That goes without saying. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. Our next event is our senior social. It's coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend on September 27th. It's a new event for us, so we're really looking forward to it. That's going to be from 1, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, September 27th, from 1 to 4 at the firehouse. And then after that, we have our annual trunk or treat, which is October the 18th. and that's here in the Parkside Elementary parking lot. That's on a Saturday from 4 to 6. If you have any questions about that, you don't necessarily have to reach out to sign up or register or anything. We usually have, a lot of participation, people, who are interested in coming and decorating their cars. Just come on by. The more the merrier. And then after that, looking towards the end of the year, it's our holiday party. It's a little earlier this year than usual. We're holding it on November the 22nd from 4 to 7, and that is also at the Parkside Firehouse. All of these dates are on our borough website too. If you don't have access to one of the flyers or need the information. And then we have a tree lighting ceremony for the holidays that's held on December 7th at the West Cole Memorial. Bring your singing voices and join us as we sing a few carols, followed by hot cocoa and cookies, of course, weather permitting for that event. And then last but not least, let's not forget our house decorating contest for the holidays. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please reach out to us through our email, which is parksiderec19015@gmail.com, or you can reach us through our Facebook page, which is Parkside Recreation Committee. We're going to be working on our next year's events and dates within the next couple weeks, so we'll have updates for all of that. That's about it.
Thank you.
That's all the mayor had.
Thank you so much. Police Public Safety, Vice President Capabianco.
Thank you, Madam President. For police and public safety, I can report general progress. For code enforcement, we had complaints about people leaving their trash cans out over Parkside Terrace. I contacted landlords and that issue's been solved. License inspections, general progress. That's it.
Super. Moving on to ordinance, resolutions, and grants. Mrs. Sperback.
Thank you, Madam President. So resolution number 1895, whereas the Borough of Parkside established a police pension plan in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And whereas Act 25 requires the calculation, adoption, and budgeting of funds for the aforementioned pension plan prior to expiration of September. The 2026 minimum municipal obligation for the Borough of Parkside shall be $150,228. Whereas in accordance therewith, the borough will require a 5% contribution from the police officers for 2025 relative to the police pension plan. So I'd like to make a motion.
Any questions on the motion or the obligation on our MML? Everybody's good. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Do we have a second on
I think Nick,
Yeah,
that? Oh,
so second.
yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, moving on, I know, Lisa and Madam President, you received the same email about the mini parks recreation and open space plan. And it's a very lengthy, I didn't want to print it all out, it was quite a few pages. Basically looking through it, and I'm sure Mrs. Catania will probably mention this as well, or summarize it more. Some of the feedback we received were, most of the respondents for the woodlot indicated the status of the woodlot as being excellent or good. Only lighting and parking ranked as average, which leaves room for improvement. Wesley Cole, they said, while accessibility, lighting, and tree shade ranked excellent or good, the respondents indicated the status of parking and walking trails as poor. More focused on improving these two categories of review than recommendation. The other thing I remembered reading for Wesley Cole is maybe getting a, which Mrs. Catania and I did discuss, getting some type of tree there for our future Christmas tree lighting. So we don't have to, the mayor, the recreation committee doesn't have to come up with a tree every time, and hopefully then grow to a substantial size, as I've seen at other parks or other boroughs as well, which was nice. In Norwood, where I grew up around there, they have a big tree that they light every year I didn't pick. I can't see that in her spot, but it's still nice that they have that and they don't have to go out of their way to get one. So I'm not looking at that. I know that.
We did talk about, Doug, I believe we talked about getting a tree this year planted for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I want to terribly. So I talked to the nursery. I didn't get exact prices, but they do have a few nice trees that we can kind of move in that direction. But I truly believe the blue spruce that's behind the Wesley Cole sign, just off the street, probably needs to be cut down. It has a needle cast disease. It's over mature. Its roots are kind of heaving up everything. And I had brought this up to the mayor. I think I sent you a picture, Miss Allison?
Yes.
Okay. So of what it kind of sort of, I just took and kind of penciled out what the tree missing would look like, and then another tree in its place. You get a better line of sight. It would have better sunlight. It would be positioned better. So,
So
you know.
can we move on that this year?
If I may, before you make any kind of educated decision, one of the things that we talked about in the Mini Pros Task Force is the fact that the West Cole is used quite a bit for community events, right? So you're doing Memorial Day, a lot of those types of events, and there's really not space there for people to be. So I suggested that we take a look at reconfiguring the park so that we have more community space there. Get away from, and we did the design, so you can shoot me from 20 years ago when the design was done. But we put the walkways around the trees, which, you know, all now with all the trees being mature, they've heaved, they've changed. I think that's why you got the poor rating in it. We did some work there. And they did, they jacked it up, they did a really nice job with what they did with the sidewalks. But I think versus spending the money and getting a tree and putting it in now, we probably ought to see what the conceptual plan looks like for West Cole. We brought that up, that we wanted to have a tree at, as part of the conceptual plan. So hopefully they incorporate that. They're looking right now at putting cost estimates together for the various upgrades that they see in the various open spaces. So we should have that shortly. I think the next step for the Mini Pros would be to have a public meeting, which will be with the Planning Commission, which I think that's you guys, right? Is Borough Council.
Right.
So that it's read in public can make comments to that plan. Probably have to have a short study committee meeting beforehand, so that the study committee is aware of it, can kind of push the public meeting. But that'll be the next step, and then they'll go to the final draft. We'll have a meeting here in front of council, unless you, and we've got to have a review done by the county, and then it can get adopted. Right, they're the next steps that are happening.
Yeah, they mentioned expand the rain garden sidewalk modifications. That is all in this as well. They did mention evergreen screening, and then the gathering area, expanding the hardscape near the monument will provide a gathering space for community events and allow for flexible programming. So they did mention some of those things as well.
When the plan is totally completed, and I read the draft, but I didn't print it, my printer's old. Will we all get a copy of the final plan?
Yeah.
Chief?
I had a suggestion. I brought it up before. Ilks Island, to me, is a great location for community events like the tree lighting event. It's all Fetchmont Avenue. We can control the traffic a little more, and the community can all come together in a much larger space. So just a suggestion, something I had thought would be a good idea is maybe planting the tree there and kind of using that as like a gathering place for the community, as opposed to trying to cram the community into that little park in West Cole. Just a suggestion.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, there was an Eagle Scout project there with benches and containers. And if you go up and walk it, it's very limited in green space. It's actually, some areas are trip hazards. So I don't know if that would work, but I mean, would be up to the committee.
Yeah, certainly. Just I mentioned it before, and I don't if the plan is to reconfigure West Cole, an idea could be look into that park as well. Maybe that can be better used and maybe easier to do. I don't know. But just from safety standpoint, you're getting everyone off the avenue. You don't have cars driving by and seeing all these people gathering.
But then you only have parking on one side of Garrison, and that's usually residential. So where are you gonna park the residents that come over for that?
Well, the thought would be, it's in the community. It's the community is very walkable, so you could walk to the event. Just thought.
Super,
That's a
thank
good
you.
idea. That's a good idea. Because you can always get fire police to block off the streets up there, and you can have everybody around it. So you get a large crowd.
I want my clock tower first.
I like that too.
No, but that's a good idea.
If I'm not getting my bridge, and I'm like,
I want your bridge.
I'm on my bridge, but I want my
It's
clock tower. It's probably cheaper,
You
but
would
I
try to
still
get a
want.
bridge as long as I did.
I second.
I just don't need.
I second that.
Councilwoman, do you have anything else?
No, Madam President, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Public Works and Property, Councilwoman Miss Allison, do you have anything this evening?
Thank you. I really don't have much, other than, I have to give Theo the dates for the leaf pickup, because everybody's, hot for those. And, so we can put them on the website. So that'll be in a little over a month, maybe it'll be like the first one, the end of October. So there's, one in October and a couple in November and one in December and, we'll put some information like we usually do, instruction, let people know, what they need to do about that. That's about it. Other than that, general comments.
Super, thank you. You're welcome. Did Mr. Smith leave a report?
Yes, Madam President. Fire Marshal report, Porch Fire, Beechwood Road, and he's attached the report. For emergency management, in-service training, the County Emergency Services Building, and Parkside Elementary School has been inspected. Do you want me to read the fire report? Units were dispatched to 8 Beechwood Road for a fire reported to be under the front porch. Engine 82 Chester, as well as Engine 45 Parkside, arrived to find a small fire under the front fascia. Investigation found the tenant's son, Johnson, had smoked a cigarette approximately 40 minutes before the fire on the porch. He, Johnson, admitted the cherry part of the cigarette had fallen onto the porch in the area of the fire. He, Johnson, assumed it was out. Fire was contained and units cleared. Very minor damage to the front fascia of the porch. All units were under command of Parkside Fire Chief Dave Laney. Units dispatched: Parkside Fire Company, Upline Fire Company, Chester City Bureau of Fire, Brookhaven Fire Company, Chester Township Fire Company, Woodland Fire Company, Aston Fire Company, VMSC Ambulance 426.
Super, thank
That's all I
you.
have.
Mr. Costigan?
Thank you, Madam President. The totals for the month of August were for trash 94.85 tons and recycling 16.53 tons.
Super. Mrs. Haynes?
Thank you, Madam President. Communications Committee report. The rough draft has been submitted. It's on your desks. If the Recreation Committee doesn't mind, if you could send me any pictures you have from Community Day, that would be good. The borough website has not been updated for events since Community Day 2024. If anybody has an event, please submit photos to Theo or myself to be featured in the online gallery on the borough website. Thank you to Theo for continuing to update our Facebook and website and for streaming these council meetings. That's all.
Super, thank you. Did Mr. Fisher leave a report?
No, ma'am.
He did not. Then we'll move on to our engineer's report.
Well, we've already talked about Edgemont Avenue. I did get an invoice from Ebenezia. Because they were so close to finishing, they're going to redo that invoice so that it will be a final invoice. I'll have that for you for next month.
Okay.
Also need to get a set of plans to PennDOT along with the emergency card number that we can't seem to get because we can't get onto the Dot Grants website. But once we have that, we'll submit the plans with appropriate information so that they can say, yeah, I know they had an inspector out while we were doing work, so it should be pretty good to go there. I spoke to Steve Kroll today from AF Damon. The road program is scheduled to be started September 23rd or 24th. Now, with the rain, I'm not so sure if today pushes that back another day, but each time we have a weather event, they unfortunately can't work in the rain. So just so everyone's aware, residents that are affected will get a notification, copy of the notification will get to the borough. We can put it on the website potentially. If Theo's not sleeping over there, we can get it over to him and tease Theo. And let's just go on from there. Mini pros we talked about, we need to go into that. Do have 2 grants though that I wanted to discuss. We got notification, well, some of our municipalities got notification that the LSAs for 2026 are now open. So the applications are open. If you recall, we had some success in getting HVAC systems and new police cars. We have a grant for 2025 in for the ambulance and the LSA. We could certainly put something in to try to upgrade. This building's 20 plus years old, to upgrade some of the rooms in this building. Also, and I think this would probably bode well because it's $5,000. Delaware County Conservation District has what they call a mini grant, and it's for stream bank restoration, riparian buffer forest planting, things like that that'll help water quality. If we were successful at this $5,000 grant, we could match the PICO Green Region grant with 5. We have some extra money to put the rain garden in and do some other things over at Woodlot that I know haven't been finished. Daniel wanted to finish as part of the Memorial Garden. So I do believe that's something that we ought to look at. Probably should get the right form here. That deadline is not October 30th, I believe. Somehow or another I put October the 14th, but I know that's not right. That's Coastal Zone Management Grant is due October the 14th. And the LSA is due November the 30th. Just a couple things that we ought to think about. I'm going to tell you the LSA requires a resolution, requires cost estimates. So whatever we're going to do there, we need to get the county on board. So there's paperwork I send to the county for them to send a letter of support at Delaware County Planning Commission. So sooner than later would be much appreciated since we need to move on from that. And that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
I do. When is our grant for this year for the LSA? I know they said November, but have we gotten a hint?
They originally
Got
said
any
September. I went on, so the LSAs are awarded at the CFA meeting, and the CFA was supposed to meet the 17th, I believe it was. There was no agenda on the website. I've been telling municipalities, my guess is until we have a state budget approved,
Which they don't.
which we don't, they're not going to award anything until that's done.
Hmm.
That would be my guess, and I could be very wrong about that. But just understanding the way the system works, they have to have the money to grant the awards.
If council wishes, I think that we should apply for both of those grants. The LSA,
Mhm.
this building will be 25 or 26 years next spring. We need some upgrades to the police department. Of course, there's upgrades throughout this building. My recommendation would be to authorize the engineer to proceed with pricing. If we can get a resolution to apply, Mr. Wills, for next month's,
I have.
You have everything?
Yeah.
then, council, if you're in agreement, I suggest we move forward for October's meeting to apply for an LSA and also the conservation grants.
No, I will tell you that you can do multiple LSA. It's up to $250,000 and there is no match. So if there is more than one project that you're thinking about doing, I would suggest that we move on it.
They are very attractive grants, the LSA.
If we can get
They're
them.
very
And
competitive.
No,
it's
no
relevant
match.
that we keep, the mortgage will be paid off of this building next year in the spring. So the roof, again, is 26 years old. We have some cracks in the police department from settlement
Down in the offices too.
and the offices. We still have a ceiling that has water leak
Mhm.
spots from the last time we repaired the plumbing up there. So the building needs some work. And I suggest, since there won't be a mortgage next year, that we put in for an LSA to renovate this building.
I'll make a motion to have Lisa Catania put in for the grant for the LSA.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. The conservation grant also, Lisa's 5,000.
Mhm.
So if we're doing grants, let's try to get as much as we
Okay,
can.
yeah, well, we can.
So we can put it
Yeah.
towards the woodlot.
Mhm.
Of course,
That's the only place where you need repair and buffer at this point. There's no others.
Any other questions for our engineer?
Do we know when the Edmond Avenue is gonna get paved over?
No, I actually called Mike Burns about 3 weeks ago and asked him that question. He was going into a meeting, but I never heard back from him, so I need to call him again and see what, he was not anywhere near his desk. He said he has the information, but that's my fault, and I'm following up.
At least it's not sinking.
Yes.
We're gonna move on to our solicitor's report, Mr. Wills.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The September 17th Solicitor's Report is as follows. Number one, the Delco Tax Claim Bureau upset tax sale. Again, this is an annual sale for delinquent tax properties. It is scheduled at the Delaware County Courthouse tomorrow. There are 5 borough properties that are subject to tax sale that also have outstanding municipal liens assessed against those properties. Those liens total in excess of $12,000, which include interest, court costs, and attorney's fees. My office has contacted the Tax Claim Bureau and identified those particular properties and the amount of those particular municipal liens, so that if they in fact go to tax sale tomorrow, we will be reimbursed. Number two, 2829 Edgemont Avenue. A proposed tenant for the property has submitted an application to the borough for a commercial zoning permit to operate a jewelry store, as well as for the purchase and sale of precious metals at the subject property. That application has been referred to the borough's new zoning officer, who will dispose of that application by the end of the month, either to approve or reject that. Number three, memorandum of understanding with Fraternal Order of Police. The Borough and the Lodge, number 27 of the Fraternal Order of Police, have tentatively agreed to a memorandum of understanding that modifies the collective bargaining agreement to provide for an increase in wages for part-time police officers. The purpose of the MOU is to make it more attractive for the borough to recruit, hire, and retain part-time police officers in a very competitive labor environment. And as we have been painfully reminded today, a very dangerous occupation. The memorandum of understanding shall be subject to a vote of approval by Borough Council this evening under its new business agenda. Number 4, 110 East Avon Road. The borough recently received payment from the property owner in the amount of $752 to satisfy a trash fee lien. That lien payment, again, includes interest, court costs, and attorney's fees. My office has filed the appropriate lien satisfaction with the Delaware County Court. And with that, Madam President, I can report general progress.
Any questions for our solicitor? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we have called the citizens for any non-agenda related items. If you have a government question, please come up, give us your name, and tell us what you wanted us to tell you.
Okay, my name's Howard Bridger, 25 West Avon Road. And President, this is in regards to the contract between the VSMC and the Parks Borough. Now, at the beginning, I was under the understanding that everybody knew about this contract, but I never saw the contract, or to my knowledge, anybody at the fire company had never seen this contract either before it was finalized. I was wondering if you clear that up.
Why would a private entity be expected to see a contract that a municipal government was entering into?
For the transparency.
It's a private, the fire company is a private entity.
Well, I'd like to, I'm sorry, man.
As if any other private entity.
Well, none of the residents, don't you think they should have been apprised of what was going on before it was done, before it was completed?
When we had the meeting in June, before we had accepted the contract, all of council was aware through several executive sessions, every step of the way, in which other, myself included, local officials were involved in this process. At the time of June's meeting, the contract was read, basically verbatim, so that it was recorded. If anybody reads our minutes or watches our videos, the information was there.
Okay.
I don't feel, and this is only my personal opinion, that a private entity should tell this government what contract to enter into, or should expect to see a contract as if it was like our road program. Do they, any private entity want to see the contract for the road program with Damon? Or Edgemont Avenue for Aberuzia?
Okay.
I mean, that's my personal feelings.
All right. Also, the ambulances are supposed to come from Upland to our area. And if it's not available for Upland, they come from other boroughs. They cover.
We have a list through the radio room, through the 911 system, as to what units come in and what order. The chief and I have talked about that numerous times to make sure that it's the most available
Okay.
for our residents.
And also with
The
EMS.
Yes, the ambulance comes, as far as I know, is still stationed over at Upland. I'm not aware that there was any changes.
Right.
If they are not available, then the radio room, and chief can confirm this, will send the next closest ambulance
Gotcha.
to us.
But we don't get charged extra for that.
There's no fee.
That's in the contract.
Mhm.
And January 27th is when we start getting charged, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
For 18 months. And you have to backtrack it for when the county picked up the first 3 months that started. The first 3 months began May 1st, and I'm sorry I don't have my information, so I'm going off the top of my head. May 1st, the county provided ambulance services for each region. We were Region 3. That went from May 1st to August 1st.
Okay.
So that once we entered into a contract, the county was then notified that July 1st, that we would be taken off of the county's unit, which was stationed in Middletown at the fire company on Edgewater Avenue in Middletown. So we would be taken off of that. And then we would start with VMSC that was going to be stationed right in Upland. As far as I know, they're still there.
That's it. And if we, by any miracle, get an ambulance, does
Fingers crossed.
does this go away or is this to the end of the
The way the contract reads, and let me go back to monies. So the county paid from May until August 1st for the ambulance service. The cost, and I'm gonna round this off, was basically $67.50 a day. A day. So we were looking at several thousand a month. So they paid for the first 3 months. The county, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Chase Bank, Citizens, I think, and this is all again off the top of my head. So once we were with VMSC, they have the contract we entered into from that moment until January 2nd, 2027 is free. Once the council of 2027 moves forward, if there is an ambulance service, and we can only hope we get the grant, then that council then, in writing, will notify them with a 90-day termination letter. It
Okay.
has to be in writing.
So won't be responsible for that cost if we get our own ambulance.
If it's before January 1st, 2027, it's in writing, it's in the contract, so.
But that will end on the beginning of 2027.
2027, we start to pay.
Correct.
Again, I don't have the contract in front of me, but I believe it was $12,000. Thank you. I believe it was.
18,000.
I'm sorry?
18.
No, that's an old copy. It was
Oh,
renegotiated.
is it?
So it's 15,000 or under. But that contract can be void with a 90-day written notice to the executives of VMSC.
Okay.
And Mr. Platt has all their information. They send a monthly summary of calls to the office so that if you want to see what calls we have, Mr. Platt gets that from the CEO, Mr. Shane Wheeler. And I'm sure that he'd be available to send that to you if you're interested.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have two things.
Would you state your name, please, Dan?
Dan Searle, 2607 Arlington Ave. First thing I'll do as a resident, and then I'll jump in, I'll put my hat on for the fire company. Norfolk and Avon, right there by my house. A lot of people are coming off of Norfolk and turning towards Arlington. There's kids that play right there, and being a firefighter, I don't want to have to respond to a pedestrian struck, especially a kid or anybody. I believe there's a sign right there that says only left-hand turns. But I noticed that between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., of course, it's, when I'm home anyway, there's a lot of people that are turning right, going right down towards that way where the kids are playing right there.
Okay. I'll let our officers know. We'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Let's get that stopped before somebody is injured.
Do you have, is it the same vehicles every day or is it just?
There is a dark blue, black Mustang.
Okay.
With a PA tag.
Okay.
There's also a dark colored Jeep that likes to just ignore that stop sign.
Yes, he does.
Off of Norfolk and kick around.
Again, go the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I know myself and my wife have almost been T-boned right there pulling, because we're parked on Arlington. We've almost gotten T-boned right there because of that on several instances.
Okay. If it happens and we're not there, certainly call 911. We could still respond after the fact and see what we can do.
Right.
I'll let our officers know to keep an eye on it.
Please do.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that Jeep does not know what those big red signs are.
Well, the Delaware tag I've noticed, I caught it, and it flies so fast, like it speeds
They're right
that I
through
can't catch the license plate
They go
tag.
right through it.
If I can, I'll definitely call in and be like, hey, look, here's the tags on it. All right, I just want my fire company hat on here. Now I'm reporting as a treasurer of the fire company. Bills were dropped off on September 5th, 2025. Received a response stating that the bills would be dropped off on the following Wednesday. When asked if that would be enough time or would late fees be incurred, there was no response. So once again, I'm asking if there are late fees due to a week in between drop-offs and payments, who is responsible? Also, if there are discrepancies with bills, to whom and how do we submit those?
Let me address that because I'm copied on all your emails.
Correct.
I see the response from our treasurer.
Yeah.
Parkside's treasurer is going to be part-time, and we have this young lady here now. My understanding from talking with Mr. Platt is that when you drop off, or I understand the last batch was Chief Lamy,
Yes.
dropped off, that as soon as they're dropped off and they pick up, our treasurer's office picks up on Wednesday, then the bills are paid the next week. And there is a batch, I believe it was dropped off this evening.
Yes.
They're right here.
Yes.
And
I have 3 new ones tonight.
there's 3 bills tonight.
Yeah, there are no
And I know I've
Parkside
been-
Fire Company invoices in the folder that I gave to Marcy tonight.
Yep.
There are none in there. The 3 came tonight.
And if there's a late fee, obviously we're gonna pay it, but why is it late? I mean,
It sounds like all these bills are being paid within 30 days. How are these late fees being assessed? And
We're
by whom?
paying.
And they're coming out of the money that's allocated to us from the beginning of the year, which is driving the amount that we have for any other activity that we need to pay for in the station itself.
I'm trying to
Okay.
find out
Let's tackle.
which vendors are assessing late fees for a bill that's less than 30 days. Who is doing that?
Mr. Platt, have you seen late fees on these bills?
Not since we've been doing it the last few weeks.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, I'm sitting here looking at the bills that he dropped off tonight. And there's 2 from Chester Water. Both bill dates are 9/5. I don't know when you got them. But this is 9/17. So we're already 12 days in. And the due date is 10/15. Now, if you had brought these this afternoon, and we didn't have a meeting tonight, it would be next Wednesday before I would give them to Kathy. So they need to come on Tuesday because Kathy's coming on Wednesdays to pick up the invoices. She picks these up today and I'll stamp them and sign them and I'll give them to Marcy before she leaves tonight so that they will be processed next week.
And we've continually pushed Tuesday. They have to be here no later
And
than
I have an AT&T bill here.
Tuesdays.
The issue date is August the 31st. Don't know when you got it, but the due date is September the 23rd.
Well, let me ask you, who opens your mail and who segregates bills from junk mail and whatever?
On myself as one of them.
Can you stamp the date on the bill that you receive it?
I have a spreadsheet on my computer that Ms. Robeck has helped me set up with the day I receive it, the amount, the vendor, and the day I drop it off at the borough office.
But that's not helping us. What I'm saying is just write down or get one of those little hand stampers like we use here.
Well, I do write on there, drop off at borough 9/3, drop off
do?
at borough 9/15, whatever.
Okay.
And I make sure before I put it in our copy machine that I make sure that I write that on there. That way it's on the copy, that way it's not wrote after the fact.
I'm having difficult trying to find, when you receive it to when we receive it, the time frame. Like, is somebody putting it in a pile saying, I'll take it over, and that's like a week, 10 days later?
I have a manila folder that after I'm done filing the bills, I will literally hand to Chief Laney because he comes over in the morning and we'll drop it off. Because I work, 7 to 3:30 Monday to Friday. So obviously I can't get here, but in the hours
Right.
you guys are open. So I've entrusted Chief Laney to, bring them over and
What
drop
we've
them
been
off.
doing is, we've been stamping them when we receive them. Mr. Bull and Mr. Platt have a system that they stamp them, initial them. Mr. Bull approves them, he initials them. So everything is done by Wednesday when Brinker Simpson comes over and picks them up. Then, when they pick them up, they then drop off last week's checks, and then they are signed and mailed out by Friday. So there's no reason we've been doing this for 3 months. So there's no reason some of these things are late. June, July, August, now we're into 3.5 months that we've been doing this.
If I can add, I do remember you or Lucy, our secretary, actually checking the mail, and I think you guys do this on a regular basis. That one of the bills they received, and I don't recall which bill, but Lucy did show me, I'm trying to remember, I don't know if it was a water bill, but we just got it. The fire company just received
It was
it.
Chester Water, it was CWA.
It wasn't Chester
Yes, it was
Water?
just because I remember I was talking about it and we were like, wait a
Yeah.
minute now, all of a sudden, all of our hands, the borough and
Yeah.
fire company's hands were tied because all of a sudden this bill comes in 3 days prior to it being due for the early amount.
Yeah,
And it was like, we can't do anything.
she only brought it to my attention because she wanted to prove that, look, we just got this.
That was
And
right
it wasn't
in July.
like they weren't checking the mail. It's the
Yeah.
only reason why she brought it to my attention since, to show me like, look, we're getting this.
And who's paying the late charges? Obviously we do.
I have a question. Do you have online access to any of these? Maybe,
I mean, prior to us turning the bills over to you guys, I was going on to our bill pay and typing in the amount, hitting click, submit, and that was that.
What I'm saying is if the Chester Water bill is available on 9/5, if you log on, print it out, bring it to us,
I had recommended that too, to go online
I
and
know
actually
all your-
just make
I know all
sure
your
to check
Pico
the accounts.
invoices are being
Yeah,
ACH, they're all gonna be taken care of. I'm reading,
Marcy's shaking her head too.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing that anything that you can go paperless on, you'll get the bill sooner. And we have a very standard 1-week turnaround, as members of council have noted. We're not holding any bills unless, if there's a question on a bill, we're getting that question turned around
Yeah, I
very
know
quickly.
Donna's emailed me a couple times of, hey, I got this one, I got this one, and
We don't want to
here's.
duplicate, anything like that.
Yes,
We
yes,
turn it back
absolutely.
around pretty quickly. So I don't think there's a lag in when we're receiving the bills and getting the checks turned around. It sounds like it might be on the vendor side, and then paperless might be a good solution.
And let me make this suggestion, because Donna's gonna be part-time by the end of the year. Michelle, would you give Dan and the fire company Parkside at Brinker Simpson?
Yeah.
I
gave
I
it.
have absolutely.
Do you have that email?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
I gave
Okay,
it to
because
him.
that not only takes it to
Absolutely.
Marcy, but Laura,
Yeah.
Kathleen,
yes.
we have now a team.
Okay.
So if you use that email and then copy me, and I watch the responses.
As soon as Donna mentioned that, I wrote it down and I
Please.
I added it right into the
directly
treasurer email.
I think you and I talked about
I did, yeah, I remember I mentioned that, yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. Does anybody wish to?
Oh, how-
I'm Sue Dolan, 2900 Edgemont Avenue.
Evening, Sue.
Good evening, everybody. I've been walking around and I've noticed that at number 15 West Cheltenham Road, there's a tree that somebody looked like they've been trying to cut down. And the wires have the tree branches hanging over them. And I'm afraid with some of these storms that we're gonna be getting, that they may take those wires down. And also, at the bottom, about this high up, there's actually saw marks on a bunch of the trees on that property. There's a white solid fence in the back of the property there. And I'm just wondering what's going on with that, because it seems like it could be a safety issue between the trees having cut marks on them, and also the wires are laying on top of the tree. It looked like they tried to cut some of it down.
I'll have,
Yeah, I'll look at it, but if them branches are coming off the street, then that's the borough's problem, because we have that.
They're laying right on top of the wires. And there's also loose wires hanging down also.
So, I'm gonna say this, there is, on Pico's website, there is a vegetation number, that you can call. I did it for my own house, I have a tree that's half dead, and we were afraid because the wires actually go out to the street light. Pico came out, they looked at it, they determined whether or not they will take care of cutting it down.
there you go.
Because they do not want anyone to get electrocuted, not
I mean, they
executed.
could be also.
They are kind of the same
They
thing.
could also be cable lines too, come down.
And
There's
they-
multiple
and they could be.
wires.
Do that.
But the reality is, check with Pico before you touch anything, because the last thing we would need is somebody getting hurt or all the power being off for the neighborhood because somebody didn't check with them
I'll look at
first.
it and take pictures.
So,
Okay.
Vice President will look at it tomorrow.
You said
There's
15 West
contact.
Shelton?
Yep, 15 West Shelton Road.
Thank you,
It's on the left-hand side going up.
Yes, I know.
thank you.
And I have one more thing. I've noticed since we had the lights done, around all the streets, that there's 2 telephone pole lights that have not been done. The one that has been done is over at the light at West Roland. The other 2 that haven't been done are on West Shelton Road and also West Elbon.
You have phone numbers?
I don't know. They're right at the corner of the road. You can't miss it.
But they're not on the list.
They're not
But
on
I don't know why
this.
they weren't, I don't know why they weren't replaced, because it sounded like they got paid already. So why is that?
The engineer
It's
is saying
incomplete.
those 2 were not on the list to be done. My guess is because they were newly installed with LEDs.
But they don't work.
They're not
They haven't
operational.
worked since I've been here.
They don't.
I have
light
lived
at
here
all
11
now.
years and they have not worked.
You're
They are-
right, so.
They're no good.
Somebody brought that to my attention, and there is not that number pole is not on the list that,
Well, what can be done to get them
contractor.
replaced?
I don't know, because I don't know. We probably would have to get Lenai Electric to come in and replace those.
So then
See,
somebody
at least
can-
see what's
somebody can
going on. I
contact
don't
them?
know whether it's a Pico issue. I don't know how you guys do that part. There's some municipalities that like, a company like Lenai would go out, check to see if it's the actual fixture itself, or is there an electrical problem that there's not power getting to that fixture? And then they would contact Pico, but I don't wanna pretend like I know.
Well,
what
the
that
other thing is, those 2
system
roads also have people always coming out the wrong way. And that is also another safety issue. If you can't see cars coming out because it's dark at the intersection of those 2 streets on Edgemont Avenue, at some point, somebody's gonna hit somebody.
Mr. Platt, would you ask Lenai to check those 2 locations?
My assessment is
Needs to know a location
Thank
and a pole number. So if you can give me the location of the poles and a pole number, I can get in touch with Lenai.
So did you hear him?
Yes,
the
I can
location.
go look for them. I mean, they're right on the corner. I'll wait
They
till
should have a
daylight.
little metal tag, it's
Yeah.
not this big.
Give that to Bob and then we'll get an assessment done.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Slow.
Okay,
Last
Avery
but
South,
not least.
142 East Rolling. 2 things. One, the sidewalk where the car wash is, it's very hard to get down. The gate, the fencing is falling over. People are almost going to have to walk on the street to get there. And it seems like it's a constant issue, and I've walked it a number of times. And it seems like it's not getting any better. So,
The fence actually was down the other day, but you're right, they have it so close.
Yep.
That people almost have to go around it.
I'm afraid
So,
somebody, especially on the street.
Somebody
Yes.
did get injured on it already.
There is no sand or concrete or anything in as a counterweight. So as soon as the wind hits it, it's knocking it down and it's just staying down.
Nick, you have the
That's-
information.
No, I don't. Lisa has it.
For what?
You got the information of the,
Yeah,
car
they're
wash?
on the,
I don't
So I'll
have, I
take care
have
of
no
it.
information on that car
I'll
wash.
take care of it. Okay.
we'll have our engineer ask them to move it off the sidewalk and submit it.
Whatever it takes to be safe on. The other things,
Yeah, I asked them to save that.
this made me pledge to the, our chief, the e-bikes, or whatever they're called. I hate to say it, I almost got one night. Are they legal? Or are they supposed to be on the street? Are they supposed to be on the sidewalk? I just don't feel like getting one clipped, because then, hell will break, excuse the expression, hell will break loose.
I don't see, there was an ordinance under 30cc or something like that where they're allowed to have them. on
They're
street.
illegal on the street. I believe there's an ordinance that prohibits them from being driven on the sidewalk. I don't love that because a lot of kids have them, and I prefer they ride on the sidewalk, not the street. For the state, no, there's no law banning.
Because to me, they seem like, I don't see lights, I don't see any kind of
There is.
regular, there are no safety things, and I don't feel like having something that would happen in Aspen. I don't feel like us getting the damn black eye at the same damn way.
Yeah.
And I just want, there's nothing we can do about it. Can we set an ordinance in our borough to, effectively have them maybe with helmets on if they're a certain age and all that?
Yeah, I believe the borough can have stricter guidelines for.
We do it with bikes. The bikes have to have lights on them.
Do they have to have reflectors? I don't mean to hold anybody up. Do they have to have reflectors or something when they're driving? Especially at night, like I said, I almost clipped this one guy. Scared the hell out of me.
I don't know all the guidelines. I can certainly look into it a little bit more, and I can let you know.
And something
I'll
maybe,
do a little research.
Yeah.
We'll have Mr. Wills and the chief do some research on it, and you're right, they don't even have reflectors on it.
I know, everything.
I don't believe they are
We call it a
required.
phone call.
But
Okay,
I think it's strongly advised you should have a helmet, and it's strongly advised that you should have reflectors.
They
I
don't even
don't,
have reflectors on some.
yeah, I don't think it's required, but I will certainly, I'll work with Jay. We'll get you an answer.
thank you very much. Appreciate your help.
I think there's a round table coming up too. I think they
Yeah,
have
I've
a
seen
round
that,
table
yeah.
coming up.
With BMSC, you, last meeting, you said that, well, maybe, that you were doing $10,000 to them instead of them sending us, memberships, correct?
Part of the contract that we entered into, initially, they wanted to do a membership drive here. One of the executive sessions that council had, we batted that around and felt that the fire company would be losing money if they did that. So in response to negotiating that contract, there would be a $10,000 fee instead of a membership drive. I will tell you my opinion on this, and it's solely mine. With VMSC, if you belong to their membership drive, if you're a member, and I don't know what the cost is, I'm going to say it was $100. Then if an ambulance comes to your home, whatever the insurance doesn't pay, they forgive.
Correct.
So that was like the old ambulance drive that we had here when we had one. If you submitted your, and I forget, then it was $35 or $50. Then if you need an ambulance and your insurance only paid X amount of money, they forgave you.
Correct.
So that's the way it went.
But what I'm saying is if the borough did the 10,000 for that, we would all be members, the residents would be members, you paid that bill, correct?
We have not been billed.
For the $10,000 that you were given.
That's correct.
Because they are balanced billing. And a lot of residents are gonna die here because they're not gonna wanna use the ambulance. I've paid, now it'll probably be 1,000, because I just went by ambulance 2 weeks ago. And the first time I went, I had a $500 bill,
Again, I don't have my folder
so
with
they're
me,
balance billing.
but, Medicare has capped any amount
Oh, I have regular insurance.
reimbursing you for $345.
Right.
Which may be decreased. Your private insurance is capped. So yes, you are responsible for any other fees, the difference in those fees, whether you negotiate with them on a payment plan or they forgive you.
Because my thing is, if you're gonna pay that 10,000, because an ambulance is coming no matter what you pay. They have to, it's against the law for them not to send an ambulance. So, but if you're gonna do that 10,000, so they don't send us, then technically you're paying our membership fee, correct?
I'm not getting into logistics. I'm really not.
I'll find it out myself, Joey.
I received the membership drive from the fire company today. And do you want to look at logistics? Is my tax bills, $162 of my tax bill for this borough is basically going to the fire company. So they're also doing a drive. So it's a logistics thing, and it, you know, it's all how you look
I'll
at
find
it.
it
It's
out.
in black and white.
I'll take care of it.
Does anybody else wish to address council before we move on? Old business. Does anybody on council have any old business? Council, we have an agreement, proposed agreement with the FOP Lodge 27. We're calling it an MOU. And it's in regards to the additional increase in the part-timers' pay. Continuing through December 31st, 2025, the hourly rate wage for each part-time officer shall be $25 an hour. Commencing January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, the hourly rate for part-time officers shall be $26. What's council's pleasure?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any questions on the motion?
Do they get time in service or anything like that, or is it straight every year? I guess I've never really looked into it. And years ago, we had looked into doing a little bit of time in service, like, hey, if we had a
No.
part-time officer for
They don't
5
do that.
years, something like that. Okay.
Not for the part-timers. Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? So moved. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Tanya Engineering as our zoning officer.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? So moved. We're going to skip the motion for the second payment, is that correct, Ms. Fatani? Until we get a better idea for the amount. Bob, that'll be back on the agenda for October. Does anybody on council have any new business, old business?
Just a quick reminder, there will be budget meetings for Wednesday of September and October.
Yes, 7 PM.
Reminder that the office is closed tomorrow. Bobby's got a play date.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Bob is off tomorrow. And I heard your motion. Thank you, Mr. Capabianco. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
15 minutes past 9.